Alright, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Alright. Alright, we're ready. Let's go make the group chat.
Okay.
Alright, let's get into this. I'm gonna call. Hey, Jerry.
Hello.
Oh my god, hi!
Hey,
How are you doing?
Hello.
I'm doing okay. Just sort of chilling at the moment. How are you?
I'm fine. Just, you chilling as well. Goobering. How about you, Jerry? How are you doing?
I'm good. Having a good time.
Alright. So, yeah, me and Jerry read the doc you made, right? And like I said, like I told you, we just want to hear your side of the story. So, Jerry, if you want to start.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, like, jeez, why did you decide to make that doc?
I made it initially as just a private thing to sort of journal down progress as I keep going to therapy and going to a psychiatrist and whatnot, to just sort of have a little memo and like see where things started and where they are now, that sort of thing.
yeah.
Okay.
And, I know we already read it, but like, what made you make the doc? Like, like, why did you want to make it in the first place? Besides journaling, right? Like, what were the
Um,
events that led up to it? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
well, first, it's the whole situation you've heard about with Game Boy and others,
Yeah,
regarding grooming behaviors and how do I put it? Gross conduct, I guess. Things I honestly regret to hell and back,
yeah,
but that's part of why I'm getting therapy. Ever since March 30th, I've been like literally a day after it happened. I called my case manager and signed up for uh, like outpatient therapy.
yeah. I've been to outpatient too, but that was for like depression shit. It's nice. It really helps a lot. So what happened with Game Boy?
With Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just complete and utter honesty here. We were close friends. Um, then one day, believe it was. Hold up, I'll just pull up the doc real quick, actually, because the information's on there, like the exact dates and everything.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to leave out any detail. Oh, here we go. Okay, March 28th is when it happened. So, just to pull up some quotes from it, he how do I put it? He'd asked me to be his partner, and I should have just blocked on site or like said no or something. But stupidly, I agreed.
yeah.
And
And
quite honestly, that
go on.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're
Okay,
good. Go on.
all right. I was just saying, it led to a lot of hurt, trauma, just all kinds of shit that just isn't worth doing to anyone.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I did a little
no, no, you're
ADHD.
you're fine.
Um,
You were saying?
um, so like let's put us in your mind at the time. This person, how old are they? 14. Um,
Mhm.
why did you say yes in the first place? Like, what was your state of mind at the time?
I say mine at the time. I'd recently gone through a breakup with one of my exes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, believe it was Spencer Dragon. Uh, I was lonely, desperate, depressed, and I guess that sort of took hold of me and uh, made me lose like sight of just basic judgment and logic.
Yeah. Were you intoxicated or anything like that?
I was actually drinking at the time,
Okay.
though that's no excuse for my actions, regardless.
Yeah, yeah. Drunk drivers still get in prison.
hmm
Fucking Jerry.
Yeah, no. I'm just listening.
So, um, what like what caused the relationship to end?
Um,
Was it on your part or
there
was it on
was
Game Boy's part?
it was on Game Boy's part. He had a conversation with his friends. I think it was Eggnog and Luna, Fundip on Twitter. Um, both of which I was friends with at one point prior to this thing, but they kind of explained to him what was going on, kind of helped him realize that this is wrong, and I should have realized sooner. I was like immensely guilty the whole time that we were in the quote unquote relationship, but I was too cowardly to say anything. I felt like I'd be hurting him and just saying no, and it's wrong because the truth is it hurts even more just being in that.
Yeah. I
Mm.
read in the doc that there were
And
other victims. Can you talk about them too?
one thing I'd
Yeah.
ask is, how long did this relationship with Game Boy? How long was that going on? Do you have the time
Rough.
frame in the doc, or?
I think it was roughly a week. I don't know if I have the exact time frame in the doc. Actually, hold up. Let me just pull up the doc he made because that has those timestamps on screenshots and everything.
Okay.
Uh, it looks like if I just keep scrolling. Ba, 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 ba. It looks like let's see. If it was March 28th, when it first happened, that means it would have been around April 4th.
Okay. And it ended when?
I believe April 4th is when it ended.
Sorry,
I could be wrong though.
when
I
did it begin? Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh, it's fine. March 20th, like the day after my 20th birthday.
Okay. Um, Fucking so yeah, the other people, the other
And you,
miners. Can you talk about
Mhm.
that? Like, what was your experience with them?
Um, okay, so let me just pull up the part and document that mentions all of them so I can like have the names on hand.
Yeah.
Really bad at remembering things.
Oh, same here. Don't worry.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I guess let's start with Coco, because he's mentioned in my doc as well.
How old?
Um, um, so Coco the Red Panda. His Twitter username is I think it's Coco underscore the Red Panda. Could be wrong though. Uh, no, Coco underscore Red Panda. Um, there's a link to that. Anyway, I at the time was sort of being how do I put it? I was in a manipulative relationship with a guy who's quite literally a pedophile, and I didn't even realize it until it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Still no excuse for what I did, but either way, he sort of he had this habit of manipulating everyone in the poly into thinking that it's okay to date underage people if they're in a different country, and like that couldn't be farther from the truth.
Yeah. People will be like, it's perfectly
Because
legal, but it's not. You know, it's still fucked up.
like he
let
was
me just
dating a
ask, what made you like have this realization of how, terrible it was? Like, what made you like realize that all of this is so bad?
um well it was like a day before the call out post happened. I kind of had a moment to just sit, think, and really reflect on it. And it just sort of made me realize that a relationship should be between two consenting adults. In this, in the case of someone being an adult, it shouldn't be between an adult and a minor because that's just, well, one, immoral, immensely immoral, and two, illegal. Uh, so that realization is what led me to, like, literally the next day, the same day the call out post came out, calling my case manager and getting therapy set up, and I've been in ever since, like, pretty consistently. Bumped up therapy from once a week to now 3 times a week, and then once a week with psychiatrist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
with Coco, how old were they?
He was 15
Okay.
at the time.
Okay. So like describe like what happened in that situation.
Um, Well, to be bluntly honest, it was a lot of oddly romantic talk. Nothing really sexual per se.
Any examples of what romantic, like, what type of like talk? At least just like a general example, right?
Well, I don't have any screenshots because I closed the DM a while back just because of guilt and everything. But
Yeah.
uh, I remember one time just telling him that like he's a sweetheart, you know.
Yeah. Okay. And you said not really. There was not really any NSFW talk, but was there any to begin with? Because I know romantic talk can lead to NSFW talk. You know.
Yeah, I try to avoid that in general, even with my own partner.
Yeah, but did it
But it
happen?
depends. It did not.
Okay. And then there was another one, right?
Yeah.
And can you?
Um. Sorry, you were saying?
I said, can you describe what happened in that and how old they were?
Um. Okay. If I go back to the doc, the person would have been Fergal.
Okay.
Fergal the Fluff. He was 17 at the time.
Okay.
I could actually get screenshots if you want. He and I are still friends. We like patched things up after everything.
Screenshots would be great, and it's nice that you guys patched it up.
Yeah, like I was surprised, but it's a nice surprise because we can move forward in a healthy way and everything.
Yeah.
All right, here I'll just pull up the old conversation.
Yeah. Might I ask how old is this person?
Fergal, he's 18 right now. He was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if I just go to page, let's see, there's a shitload of pages. Here we go.
Did it send?
I'm just getting screenshots right now. The app I use, Green. Yeah, I use this app called Greenshot, so it's a little bit of a pain to, you know,
Yeah. No, you're
get
good.
screenshots.
You're good. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. This is going to come in two parts because screen resolution's goofy as hell. Here we go.
And were there any NSFW talks with Fergal?
There was a couple instances of ERP, which I do regret. I can get screenshots of that if you want.
Sure. Yes, please.
All right.
And is that the ERP? Doesn't really seem RPE.
That's the romantic talk.
Okay. Okay.
Here, this is from December. Let me just. There we go. Here's where it starts.
So I have a question, right? In the doc, when you were talking about Game Boy, you said you had a relapse in grooming, right? Um, like what's like I know you're going to therapy, right? But like what's there to like stop you from doing this again, right? There are minors in your server as well. I mean, it very well could happen
Yeah.
again if, you have a lapse in judgment, get drunk, whatever, right? What's stopping you from, doing this again? Because it's
What's been
happened three
stopping me is
times.
just
Happened 3 times. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see why the feelings there and the concern. To put it simply, my current partner, Jake, his handle on Twitter is it's gamer Jake.
Okay.
He has been holding me accountable alongside my friends Neurixius, um, Fallout Proto, and um, Kaiser Drakenarch. They've been sort of like I've been openly communicating with them whenever any sort of like thoughts come to mind that are less than moral, and it's been lessening over time because therapy's been helping with it. But
Yeah.
um, the main thing is just you know, making sure, I don't repeat it. Like, they have been, I give them logins to my Discord so they can monitor my DMs and such.
Okay.
And none of that's happened. I haven't DM'd anyone underage in a erotic or romantic context. Like, take this DM with Thunder, for example, right?
Hmm.
This is from today. I was sort of just how do I put it? Like, talking about random shit.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about this PSP emulator, PPSPP,
Hmm.
and she was trying to figure out how to, get it to work because on her phone, her iPhone, it was lagging and all this other stuff. Turns out the iPhone app's just really bad.
Yeah. Okay. Jerry, you have anything to say?
Oh, that just asks overall why would you be hanging around? Like I understand that you are in recovery and that's great. Why would you be hanging around or even being in communities with minors? Given that you've had these issues in the past.
I just do my best to avoid interaction with minors when possible, and I'm hardly active in my server anymore, to be honest.
Yeah. But
I mean, besides like
sorry.
replying to a couple small things today. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I mean, are you in any other servers with minors?
Let's
I mean, it's a
see.
furry
I have a
community.
lot
There's a
of.
lot of them.
Yeah, let's see. Um, Furries on Twitch, Union Park Furs, which is just my local fur group. Um, where the hell is it? The Trash Pit, the Lusky Squad. Though I'll be honest, I'm hardly active in servers in general. I fixate so much on my DMs, it's hard for me to remember to even interact with a server.
You're good on the same way. Fucking Jerry.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything.
Okay. So people have called you a pedophile, right? Um, would you consider yourself a pedophile?
Um, Prior to therapy, I would say so, but at the same time, by definition, a pedophile is sexually attracted to those underage. I don't consider myself sexually attracted. It's more like I have very little self control, or had very little self control, I should say.
Yeah,
Um,
same here, right? I'm an ex-drug addict, right? And I have really bad self-control too, but I've never really done this type of thing. It takes a certain type of person with certain interests and likes, right? I'm not judging anything, right?
yeah.
To
Oh no, I understand.
to do these type of things with minors multiple times. So
Mhm.
like, and I know
It's more
therapy
of like
might,
a
yeah, go on.
it's a moral issue. It's kind of like it, morally speaking, at least from my perspective, most people would just be disgusted by those acts.
Mhm.
That's just my point of view. I'm sorry to use offensive words like
Oh no,
that, but
you're fine.
it's a thing that like the question that really a lot of people question is someone that is morally not morally disgusted by those acts. Is that something that concerns a lot of people?
Yeah. And like I know you say you're not sexually attracted to children, right? But then why even start a relationship with them in the first place? Because this has happened multiple times, right? It could just be that see maybe you are a pedophile and fucking you're trying to recover, right? I've heard of recovering pedophiles and no contact, right? Would you consider yourself
Mhm.
that?
I mean, I suppose that aligns pretty well. A lot of it really is just lack of morals, or a prior lack of morals, which stems from that poly I mentioned before, where the person who was like, the main person poly, also my boyfriend at the time, he was a pedophile, and as far as I'm aware, he still is.
Yeah.
Because right now he's in a closed poly. Um, I tried to deter him away from it, but it's just it's a bad idea, just in general.
Well, yeah. You don't want to hurt children.
Yeah, God no. I already have, and I feel fucking awful for it.
Yeah.
So
So
I just have a question with this. Like you said, you had weak morals. So like what might I ask you? And I'm not exactly informed in the correct verbiage. Maybe some form of like psychopath or something to where you don't feel the same convictions against things that most people would.
I don't know about psychopath, but at the same time, it feels like to an extent I might be leaning on that side of things, and hopefully therapy helps with that. I can probably have an assessment done and address it.
Yeah.
I have a question. Were you aware of the doc being made before it was made, or did it was just kind of sprung
The
up? Like the Game Boy,
the Game
the
Boy,
game, yeah.
yeah. I was not aware of it. I was aware of one that, and this is linked in my doc too. It's called Omari's Disgusting Acts.
Hmm.
Um, that was made by Cozy and a friend of hers. Cozy as in Master7 on Twitter. Um, I was aware of that one because she DM'd me about it. But the Game Boy doc I was not aware of, but I wasn't exactly mad when either of those docs came out either. I mean, when someone does something wrong, it's important to like talk about it and make sure to address it.
So were
And
there?
I
Sorry, before, go
Mhm.
ahead.
No, you're fine. I interrupted you.
Okay. So before the doc was made, was there already people calling you out on Twitter before the doc itself?
The Game Boy doc
The
or the
Game Boy
other
doc,
one?
the Game Boy doc.
I think there. I don't think there's any instances of it before the Game Boy doc for that particular thing.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I
Yeah.
I just haven't checked actively.
Yeah, you're good. So you said you got therapy the night before the Game Boy doc was released. So like um how do I put this? Were you aware of something that might happen? Because like it's very convenient, right? In like an outside point of view that you were going therapy.
Statistically,
Yeah, like right
yeah.
before the doc was made, and some people could see it as just you trying to um like play it off as I'm getting help, but because the doc is made, right? Not because you genuinely want to.
Yeah, I mean, the therapy was because I genuinely wanted to. I didn't want to just brush it off. I know it's not something that can be brushed off because it's very immoral. It's illegal. Hell, I've been investigated by police on multiple occasions because of that particular thing. And it's part of why I had to move into the home I'm currently in because I got evicted by family as a result
Okay.
of that.
Now, might I ask, and this is slightly, unless Fire would like to expand on that, I have another thing.
Well, I just
Mhm.
want to know what the why they're investigating you, right?
They were investigating it because this account, I think it was Hate All Zoos on Twitter, Joel being one of the owners of the account, uh, they submitted a report to Cyber Tips with evidence from that doc, and that was enough for them to, come out to my home address at the time and do an investigation. And that very same day is when I was kicked out and basically moved all in this span of like, what was it, 6 hours? 6 hours of rushed packing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So did you ever send any like nudes to these children?
Not that I recall. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not remember sending anything like that.
Okay. Jerry, you're gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So one thing I read was that you had been interested at one point in Cub. Is that still a is that can you explain more on that? Because that's something I'd like to. I'm just wondering about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge topic for the first doc was the past interest in Cub, but um, what a lot of people didn't quite understand when I tried to explain it. I think I just worded it poorly. I was into Cub when I was a minor myself. I haven't looked at it since I was 17.
Okay. It was stated that you had thoughts about Cub though.
Yeah, that is true. I did at one point think about looking at it just because I, it's not even the material. It's the art style itself that's what I guess caused the interest to like the thought. But
to be
what I did
fair
is just
though,
kind
like
of
the art style is depicting children, you know? That's what the whole art style is
yeah,
about, is the children infantize characters into looking like children.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
still very gross, no matter how you slice it. Like I'm not going to deny that it's disgusting. It absolutely is. And there's a reason I have it blocked on my firewall and on E621 itself, because there's a blacklist on the website.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
that blacklist is, I think, the main thing that's kind of helped me not look at it. And I don't want to again anyway. It's just not. It's not appealing anymore.
Was there like a change that happened to like make it not appeal anymore?
Was-
Just sort
And
of
one,
coming to. Mhm,
oh,
sorry.
sorry. No, you continue. You continue.
It's okay. I interrupted you. You were like just starting to speak when I was.
No, no. I'd like you finish what you're saying.
Oh, I don't even remember what it was, to be blunt.
Oh, okay. Well, one thing I'd say is you said the art is disgusting, but you said you had previous interest in it. Like it's like do you find the art disgusting, or are you stating that it is objectively disgusting? Like, do you personally find cub art disgusting, like in your personal view? Which again,
Thinking,
no judgment here. Like whatever you
yeah,
say.
I'd rather be honest about things than not.
Yeah.
So in full honesty, I've just sort of had time to reflect on it and kind of come to the realization that it's not only objectively disgusting, but it's disgusting to me as well. It's like
Okay.
both at once to an extent.
Okay.
So,
But I just
sorry,
asked,
go
like,
on.
what about other like kind of objectionable content, like feral art and other things? Have you ever had interest in any of those?
Sorry, I had a like doze off moment for a second. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just asking, like, about like other types of you know, more questionable art, for example, like feral or other similar types like that. Have you ever had interest in any of those types of categories?
No, my ex Sevi Redford was interested in it, but I never found it interesting myself. I always try to tell him, please don't send me this. This is kind of gross. I mean, there's animals being depicted here, basically. And he, if I remember correctly, is a recovering zoo and pedophile. So in a similar boat to me, I guess, except I'm not a zoophile. Never have been, never will be.
Yeah, just a recovering
Okay.
pedophile. Okay. And about that point, right? Like you can be a recovering pedophile, right? But you're still a pedophile. I'm a drug addict, right? But I haven't used in about like a while, right? But I'm still a drug addict, even though I'm trying to receive help for it. Deep down, I'm
Mhm.
still always going to be a drug addict, and I feel like that also applies to pedophilia, right? So no matter how much therapy you get, these thoughts can come back. Like I have the thought of relapsing every fucking day, but like no matter how much therapy I get, no matter how much I do, right, I'm always gonna have that thought to relapse. So even if I have Jerry to help me not relapse, I have my boyfriend to help me not relapse. Um, but if that all goes away, right, I am more than gonna probably relapse. What's like on your own end besides therapy? What's stopping you from hurting another child?
Well, it's this one very simple thing: family. My family, because I have a younger brother who's about 4 years old, and I want to be able to spend time with him, like make memories and crap. But I don't want to do it until I know I'm in a better place. And I also don't want to disappoint my family by doing this shit yet again.
Yeah, and how
Okay.
did your family find out?
So someone had doxed me and like released my phone number, and through my phone number, they were able to find my mom's number because it's like a digit off,
Hmm.
and they sent her doc over text message. I'd actually just gotten home from a mental health facility. Um, not when the doc was coming out that time, like the Game Boy doc, but the other time I was in there because of self harm related reasons.
Hmm.
for what was it, 5 days,
That's
something like
short.
that.
That's a short stay. When I'm in there, I'm usually in there for like about a week or two.
Yeah.
Um, but like what on your end, right? Not familial, but like because if you didn't have a family, you'd probably do this again by your own admission, right? Because you said like it's my friends that help me stop, it's my family that helps me stop, the therapy that helps me stop. These are all outside forces, but I don't see anything coming from your end that's gonna help you stop. So like if all those go away, right? Like what are the chances that you're gonna do this again?
I'll be honest, because I also have my friends holding me accountable. Like, and they only gave me like one more chance, so I'd rather not disappoint them. I'd rather not hurt anyone again. Just
So I'd just ask, like, if
mhm.
you were like, let's say hypothetically, you were just in an isolated situation with someone that was like a very young child, right? Like for a long period of time. Let's say like you're just in this existing like room. There's no one will ever find out, right? Like let's say, you're just like there's no way anyone will find out. Do you genuinely believe that you would or wouldn't do anything with that child?
um, I would rather
And
not
and
do it.
remember, this is judgment free zone. You can say whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice change of pace for sure compared to the usual death threats and crap.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, that's besides the point. No, I'd really rather not do anything like that.
But yeah, there's the
Okay.
difference between would rather not do, like you wouldn't want to do it right now, but like let's say in the moment, right, you're feeling horny or something, and there's just a child and nobody else would find out. Like, how do you expect us to believe that you won't do this, right? Because I mean, like
Oh,
if nobody finds out, nothing comes of it, right? Nobody at all, no family, no friends, nobody will ever know what's stopping you because you've told us that like all these external forces are stopping you from committing these acts again. But if you didn't have any of those, what's stopping you in this hypothetical situation from doing this with someone that age?
well, I'm be honest. Um, I don't think I'd be willing to do that because, well, I just don't find actual sexual attraction in the underage. I think that's strange. I still ERP, of course, but like that doesn't change the fact I don't see genuine attraction
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, of course, of course.
You said
But
you've had these
But like
thoughts.
let's
Sorry.
say let's say okay, because that's a great example. But like let's say you were just in a room and like the only person you could talk to was someone like and I mean like on Discord, let's say sexually, right? The only
mhm.
person you could talk to was say a child. In that scenario, right? Again, no one could prove anything. There was no like, there's no way anyone could find out. Um, do you still feel the same way?
um, about what? Sorry, my mind slipped for a moment. I'm sorry.
Like okay, let's say as I said, is like you're in just you in your room. No one could ever find out. Like it's a secure connection. It's impossible for anyone to like figure out you've done this. And like there's someone that is a minor, an underage child, right, on the other end of like a Discord call, and like you're just existing there for a week, like or a month or whatever, a long time, let's say. Like, do you feel that you would confidently just be able to just resist the urge to sexually talk to that person over that platform if no
I
one would ever find out?
I believe so. I've been sort of trying to do better at watching what I say before I say it, keeping in mind the person's age, their pronouns, everything.
Okay.
Okay.
So you
Like with
said
my
you've
friends who are adults,
you said
Sorry.
you've had thoughts about like this type of thing, right? You have no sexual attraction, but you have thoughts. What do these thoughts entail? Like, if it's not a
Well,
sexual thing, then like, what are these thoughts then?
I guess the thoughts are less about doing anything like that. It's more about just what I've already done.
What do you mean?
So, like um, the grooming stuff. That I think about the past stuff a lot, and I'm like reflecting on it pretty much daily.
No, but you said you've had like urges to do this thing again, right? Like
Oh, urges, yeah.
yeah, what do those urges entail, right?
Just how do I put it? I guess just talking, same as the last time, but I'd really rather not. I'm trying my best to fight off these urges, and as stupid as it's gonna sound, I have some really like unhealthy coping mechanisms to get me to stop. Like self harm is one of them.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like, let's say you're someone that has an eating disorder, right? And like you're full, but like you really want to keep eating. Is that how you describe it? Is like you really don't want to eat, but you have like the feeling that you want to eat? Is that
Yeah, I also have an eating disorder, so I know the feeling all too well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to overeat whenever I get stressed.
Yeah.
But like is it that type of feeling? What like is that how you'd say like describe it?
I think that sounds fairly accurate. The one thing I will add is that, like I mentioned before, to self harm. Whenever I get one of these urges, and I don't mean to like be offensive because I know it can be a sensitive topic to some, but I grab my knife and I usually like cut my arm or something to just focus more on the pain rather than the thoughts.
No, and I get that, right? I have hundreds of scars all over my body. But fucking like I just it's something that doesn't really sit well with me, right? Is because if like all of your support systems go away, right? Let's say for like, just people cut contact because that's what they do, right? And
Mhm.
like if all this thing goes away and you're still in your server with minors and other servers with minors, like there's really not much stopping you from doing this again, is there? Without any outside help, right?
It's true, but at the same time, like I'm not trying to deflect or anything. I'm just
Yeah, I
uh
understand. It's
like
just like the main thing with me is because I'm just thinking from that analogy is like it is one thing to say, right? Because it is a terrible thing, and I'm glad you're very aware of that. It's just like from the outside in, like from what I've experienced, like I personally have had situations where I've had eating, problems. Is it's like I can say it, right? And maybe, for I have it like it's like a timer almost.
Yeah.
And I think after a certain point, it just that's how it really looks and sounds, at least to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems, at least personally to me, and I'm not trying to like disrespect you or anything, but it seems very unlikely to me that you like, because again, you say you have had these urges, you've had all this, and we understand that, and that's, you can't help that, but like it's very difficult for me personally to see that you would be able to completely resist these urges for just completely if there was no actual reason to stop you.
Yeah.
it's fair. I can definitely understand the perspective of how from the outside it looks like a risk waiting to happen.
And
Yeah.
But
that's so you're surrounded by a lot of children and servers and DMs, right? Like
mhm,
that's like me being surrounded with a bunch of hardcore substances and like saying like, "Oh, I'm not going to do it." Like I'm going to fucking do it, you know? I'm going to fucking relapse. If I'm surrounded by my drugs, right? And like me saying that I'm gonna stop using drugs, it doesn't really mean anything when the urges come and like the thought about doing it to get high again comes, right? I'm gonna fucking do it. No matter how much
Hmm.
therapy I have, no matter how much help, I'm gonna fucking do it. Especially if no one else sees, like fuck yeah, I'd get high again. So like I just don't like that's why I don't surround myself with substances and I don't understand why you surround yourself with minors that possibly you can groom. Like the self-control, we both have bad self-control
Yeah.
issues. That's why I try to keep drugs away from me as far as possible. And it's just it strikes me as odd that you don't do the same with children.
Yeah, and I just might ask, like, genuinely, why even risk it, right? Because, like, again, stuff happens. Maybe, something's happening and you just lose the ability to control yourself. Why would you, and again, nothing against you, but why would you even have the risk of having children around,
it's a very fair point. The only, like, I guess the major reason just behind why I'm still trying to be around these people, even though I have very fucked up past regarding them, um, or just minors in general, not those people in particular. Uh, I guess all in all, it just comes down to trying to take what I learned in therapy. Like, they've given me some exercises to do to exercise self control and to sort of distract the mind whenever there's like an urge.
Hmm.
It's a matter of just building up this immunity to the point where the urges just don't strike anymore.
Yeah, I get that, right? But that's like if I were to just put like a pound of cocaine on my desk and then be like, I'm gonna put this pound of cocaine on my desk and I'm gonna use it as a way to not use cocaine. I mean, like you can see how that kind of sounds silly, right? Because obviously, once a drug addict, always a drug addict, once a pedophile, always a pedophile. Like it's kind of irresponsible for me to put that situation there to begin with. If I can just throw that pound of cocaine away, like why keep it in the room in the first place? I think the best way to stop these urges is like to not surround yourself with what causes the urges in the first place.
Yeah, because like I'm sure you have a lot of adult people in your life that you could talk to. I just it just doesn't really look good. Even if, of course, everything's completely peachy, but like it's really just not a good look for someone that has had the issues that you have had to be around children. Like on Discord, especially because again, like that's where all this previously happened, and the like and I do get you do have this whole support system, but it's just it doesn't seem like a very good decision to be surrounding yourself with that. Seem like, for your therapy, it seems like it might be a bad idea because it might reinstate those urges.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. I've just been noticing the urges sort of lessening lately, like
Mm, I
a
get that,
lot, which
right? I
is,
get that, right? But
yeah,
I sorry I interrupt a lot. I have ADHD.
you're
But
fine.
fucking I've noticed the urges to relapse on drugs, right? It'll wane, it'll go up and down and up and down. It's not a constant. I want to fucking get high on the hardest stimulants possible all the fucking time. It's like I don't want to use right now, and then I'll have an urge to use, and then it'll be like a crippling fucking desire to just go out and buy a fucking, like $200 worth of coke, like fucking. It's not like these urges are just gonna go down on a steady decline. It's gonna be a up and down thing for probably the rest of your life, even with therapy. Like I've received therapy, right, and I've been to rehab too, and it didn't really get rid of all of my urges to use, right? And it did for a little, and then it went back up, and then I learned to take it down myself, right? And then it goes back up naturally. It's an up and down type of thing. I mean, like, don't kid yourself. This thing's not going to go away. So, like, I don't understand why you would like surround yourself with any children, just like how I would surround myself with any cocaine or meth or anything like that. If I really want to quit, then I'm just not going to surround myself with any substances. And if you really want to quit, then I don't understand why you would surround yourself with any minors.
I get the perspective, honestly.
It's incredibly irresponsible.
Understandable.
It's
Um,
like you're using these minors as like a test for you, like not to do it. Like a Gandhi, right? He would put a bunch of like naked women just so he wouldn't have sex with them. It's very irresponsible. It's still not right.
Yeah. And I just ask, like, why wouldn't you cut these people out of your life given, your history?
well, I guess it just boils down to my own desire to completely kill these urges, just be able to build up a full like immunity to this shit. Like, I know it's very unlikely.
It's damn near impossible. I mean, there's been no clinical proven study to completely rid someone of pedophilic thoughts. Like
Yeah,
it's not gonna go away, hun. It's not. Just like how my drug addiction is probably never gonna go away for the rest of my life. Your desires to do these things with children aren't gonna go away at all either. and so that's why it's
And
best to just kind of cut contact from all children. Just like it's good to cut contact with all drug dealers and shit like that for me. And it strikes me as kind of like a red flag, maybe like a pink flag because it's a little lighter, that you would surround yourself with these people to begin with, and then try to get contact with, like you said, like you want to become friends with Game Boy if given the chance again, if he would like forgive you, right? I mean, like it's best just to cut off all these things to begin with and not have any desires to like reinstate contact with the people you've hurt and people you can potentially hurt, because like that's like if I cut off my Coke plug, right? And then I added them back later just to be friends with them. Like obviously, like that's not really how it's gonna go.
and I would say is maybe this might totally be offbeat, but maybe this is like in some way playing into your urges in a non-sexual way. Maybe it's a non-sexual attraction to being around minors, which overall, again, let's say in a year's time, maybe it's things because things sound like they're going great now, but what about in a year's time? Like, what if all your support, like something happens and you don't have the support you currently have? That could leave you in a very bad situation in the future.
Yeah,
Uh,
if I was at sorry.
yeah, yeah, that was just my is it just is like the way I see it, right? Is you're doing great now, but let's say again something happens and then you're not doing so great. It is very probable that being around all of these children, because again, right now nothing's happening, but in the future different circumstances might play, and it's very probable in my mind that something could realistically happen again. And it's just it doesn't seem like there's any benefit to being around these people, especially in this community.
That's fair.
Okay, mom,
And
go on, go on.
yeah, just I personally don't associate with anyone that's under 18. And I've never had these issues because of the main reason being is they could, again, given especially given your history, like anyone could just, if they didn't want to, they could make up a story, and it'd be very difficult for you to even make any sort of convincing argument that they're lying, or overall it's just not a good idea. And especially because, like, if something did happen again, like, you know that is not something that we want to have happen.
I don't want it to happen again either. The main benefit I've noticed in having these people around is just in a weird way. It's kind of helped me build up self control. Like there's never gonna be a case where it's completely gone. That's just not how life works. But I think over time it's more about I guess building up like a mental immunity to all the urges and shit.
But then that goes back to my point, right? Like yeah, I
Mhm.
could keep like a bunch of meth and cocaine on my desk, right? But like, and I can use it as a way to stop the urges, right? But like, what's stopping me from slipping up on a really bad day? Or like if I get drunk, right? What's stopping me from just being, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna relapse. Who cares, right? Because like if I relapse, I have a lot of people to disappoint. But like, and on another point, right? I could probably just hide my addiction from other people. What's to say you won't hide this from other people too? I mean, you could always create a Discord alt. You could always create other Twitters, shit like that, right? Like, what's stopping you from doing this again? Because like having children around to like solely to resist urges is kind of fucked up. You should just not contact them at all.
That's fair. I mean, to put in perspective, the people I am in contact with are just friends. Nothing
Yeah,
more than
but
that.
Game Boy was just a friend too.
True.
And like
I
what's to
guess it
say like
was.
maybe you don't like initiate it, right? But what if they start to initiate? Like Game Boy asked you to be their partner, right? Like what's stopping you if someone comes to you about it? Like if some minor started acting in a way towards you. Like, are you
If that
positive
happens,
that you're gonna be able to resist that? Maybe on a bad day, maybe not now, but in a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now.
if that happens again, I already have like a pledge written down, something to sort of keep in mind with these things. Um, Basically, if it were to happen again, like if anyone were to ask me that again, right? I would just walk on site, like no hesitation, no bullshit, no beating around the bush, just walk and move on and
Mhm.
focus on other things like reading or even just take a break from Discord for a bit. Like I've been taking a break from Twitter for close to 4 days now.
Yeah, but like that's the thing though. That's what you say right now, and I believe that you might not do it in the moment, right? But let's like
Mhm.
if someone was selling Xanax were to come to me and then be like, "Hey, you want to buy some Xanax?" Yeah, I'll not contact them for a while, but let's say 6 months down the road, I've had a really shitty day. I'm fucking freaking out. Of course, I'm gonna buy that fucking Xanax. No matter how much therapy I get, no matter how many times I go to rehab, no matter what I do, no matter whether I risk the friendship with Jerry or my boyfriend or other people, right? I'm still gonna want to fall on that urge to relapse like, and like, I don't want to hurt my friends, right? But I am a drug addict. That's what's gonna happen, you know? Like, it just it's
Yeah.
like it's like it's not comparable, right? But it's still kind of a good comparison because like it's not there's no really stopping you from doing this again 6 months down the line. And
And
that
overall,
sorry.
overall probable likelihood is it's very unlikely recovery is going to go 100% perfect. It never does in almost any situation. It's statistically impossible. So, like that's the main concern is that the access to the thing. And I totally understand that, and right now I can see from your perspective is okay, I'm doing really well. And this is helping me improve my ability. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like you in a way you're putting, bullets in the gun is like you're setting up yourself to be able to fail instead of making yourself such that what if you just did never interacted with minors online again? Then it wouldn't really matter if you had the urges or not at all. Wouldn't matter how intense they are if you're just not around children. Period. And I feel like just overall, like the best way to avoid pregnancy is abstinence. And
But then that's why abstinence fails because they're surrounded by sexual material and then they go have sex, right? But if you're just not surrounded by anything sexual, of course abstinence is going to work. And that's the thing, right? Like, why surround yourself with this stuff in the first place? From someone's point of view, right? They could just see this as you using children to stop talking to children. It sounds a bit silly, don't you think?
Maybe it's a little silly, but um, God, how do I even put it? Uh, I guess it's like fighting fire with fire.
That just makes a bigger fire.
Exactly. The one thing I've noticed though, with fighting fire and such, uh, it can make a bigger fire, but that same fire can also die down over time. I mean, that's just fire in general. Eventually, it dims to a point where there's nothing left but a puff of smoke.
Yeah, but why
but
not
I,
just
w- I
like
would
water
say
it,
that
Like,
I mean, if something happens again, it's not just a mistake. It is a federal offense if something like this happens again.
yeah.
I mean,
It's not like a
like,
whoopsie daisy. It's something that's been a habit, you know?
Yeah, I'd rather not commit a federal offense, by any means. So I've been trying to uh take steps to make sure it doesn't happen. Because I'm gonna be blunt. Like you've seen Doc, you know how I feel about this whole situation. I have no legitimate desire to do this again. It was fucked up. It was immoral, and it was illegal. but there's nothing that makes it right in any capacity. There's nothing right about it. It's just pure, disgusting behavior.
But
Okay.
it's disgusting
Now,
behavior with. Sorry, go on, Jerry.
I would just ask, is this on a separate note, is you've stated these very objectionable things that your previous partners have done. The something I've noticed is like how many, might I ask, how many different partners have you had? And also on top of that, like how many of them have been non problematic in what they were attracted to?
Um, I think I've lost count at this point. I've had a lot of partners in my life just because I was very stupid at one point in my life and hopping from relationship to relationship. I was like 18 at the time. Just desperation, loneliness, and
Okay.
struggling to commit. Uh, as for how many problematic people, uh, just just my ex Sevi and then Wolfling 115. I'll send you his Twitter right now.
Okay.
How do you come
No,
into
he's not
contact
very.
with these people? I've never like unintentionally met a zoophile or pedophile that I know of. The only ones that I have seen are people I don't really want to associate, and like when did they make this apparent, and why were you okay with staying with them at the time when they had these things, right? If I found out someone I was dating was a pedophile or a zoophile, I would just straight up cut contact, no matter how they feel, because they hurt people and they hurt animals. Like, why would you stay with them at the time, and how did you come into contact with these people? I mean, like, it seems a bit odd.
Fair. I guess when it comes down to why I stayed with them at times, I naively thought that things would get better for them and their whole urges and shit and behaviors would just die down and and I was young and that it's naive to believe that in their case when they had already been doing this for quite a long time, that they would just stop, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think it's also naive to believe that you're gonna stop too?
It is a little naive, I won't deny that, but I mean there's also not exactly any reason why I shouldn't try to just be a better person. You know what I mean?
No, of
Like I
course,
just
right? Like, it's always good to try to be a better person, but like I have an eating disorder as well, and like, I've recovered and I've relapsed and I've recovered and I've relapsed. Same with self-harm. Same with a lot of things, right? Like, the urge is always going to be there, and that's why I don't surround myself with things that are gonna cause me to relapse in those things. And I just don't like that you're also surrounding yourself with this fucking children. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it almost seems like you're trying to use them to stop, grooming them. It's not really a good way of going about things. Like Jerry said, the best way to stop, people from having sex is abstinence, and to clear any of your surroundings with like sexual shit, right? Like, and it's it just comes off as extremely irresponsible that you would surround yourself with children. And you stated that you still do have these urges and you go to your friends to stop it. But like, I don't get it.
I understand the concern. Honestly, I'm not really sure what to say. I mean, there's a lot I could say, but
Well, say it. I mean,
well, I guess it's just I'm not necessarily using them. I guess it comes off that way, but it's more like just having some sort of support system to sort of how do I put it? Fuck, words are hard. Uh, I guess at the end of the day, it's it's a mixture of trying to regain the sense of self control while also making it clear that if they feel uncomfortable at any point in time, they can just block me. Like I've made that clear on numerous occasions. If I ever say anything that makes someone uncomfortable, please block me. Um, so it's really just at this point, I'm trying my best to keep a closer eye on what I say. Like I usually just think before typing at this point, even when I'm in a shit place of mind or mood, I just sort of sit and think before typing. It's like when you're talking to someone in a conversation, right? Like if you were talking to like your mom, for example, right? You wouldn't just spout random slurs and shit like you could with your friends, but I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying, like, in general, people tend to do that with their friends. I personally don't see anything other than, like, the F slur.
Yeah.
But that's just because, and I'm trying to cut down on that, too, because it is an inappropriate word to an extent.
But like you
Yeah.
say, these people could just block you, right? When you like if you do act a certain way, right? Including children. But it shouldn't really be up to the children to stop what you're doing.
It's true. It is ultimately my responsibility. And I'm trying to still be responsible at the same time by just sort of monitoring my own behavior and making sure that before I do anything, take any steps at all, sit for a moment, think, and try to evaluate whether or not this is a good idea, you know?
Hmm.
So, I just honestly, right? I think the best course of action for you to never hurt a child again is to never talk to a child again. And I think that's like the main thing. Like I'm pretty sure therapists also say that with like people who also have pedophilic tendencies and are pedophiles like you know? Like 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 I don't think your therapist would be very chill with you coming to them and saying, "Hey, I'm talking to minors, but don't worry, I'm not going to say anything sexual to them." Like, you think they're going to believe that?
Because it looks very bad. I mean, like, you- it is very bad. It's just the it's a very bad, poor judgment decision to be essentially just defending being friends with these people. There's essentially no benefit, and the only thing that it really does is, well, yes, it does validate your improvements in your therapy. It also goes from the therapy being a personal thing to keep you personally feeling good, to if you slip up, it will you will go to fed it's not just an accident, it's not just a failure of you completing your therapy. It's a federal offense. It's very, very bad. And again, your choice to still associate and talk to these people, even if you are being completely regulated. I mean, it could very easily, you know something could very easily happen, and it's just a very concerning look.
I can definitely understand the concern, especially from, the outside looking in sort of perspective. It it definitely doesn't look good or anything like that. But at the same time, I guess the only reason that I'm still associating with these people is just 'cause I feel like I can avoid any sort of immoral or wrong interactions just through motivation. Plus, I have work distracting me 9 times out of 10. Uh, but point being, as possible as it is for something to happen, I don't think I'm willing to let that happen. I have so many people that I've promised I would do better and not do these things again, and I'd really rather not disappoint them. Like people like Coney, Shreds, people like that who I mentioned in my doc. Um, I don't want to disappoint them or let them down. I already have let them down plenty enough, and I hate the feeling that hurting people gives. It's not a good feeling. It's a mutual distress, and well, it just leaves you feeling empty afterwards because when you hurt someone, you're also hurting yourself to an extent, and they get the brunt of it, which is the worst part. No one deserves hurt. It doesn't matter who they are, how old they are. No one deserves to be hurt. I just want to be like at the end of the day. I don't care about being popular, or famous, or any of that crap. I just among all this drama and darkness in fandom, I just want to eventually, like, probably long after therapy, just be someone that people in the fandom can look up to. Be like, my idols from when I was a kid and the furry, and just kind of be an inspiration to people. I just want to shine a bright light in a community that's constantly filled with drama and despair, and it's hard to see past it sometimes because just the sheer extent of it. I mean, you have people getting called out as pedophiles and zoophiles left and right, and then people getting called out for doing awful shit like, you know, making fun of disabled people, for example, or making fun of homeless. I've seen stuff like that going around, and I'm like,
Oh, the trolley
it's
girl, the one who's like pointing at the fucking
yeah.
yeah. I made that into a meme, but fuck. But yeah, go on.
Well, the only other thing I really have to say in that, oh, okay, that's awesome. But yeah, the only other thing I have to say in that regard, about that matter of just wanting to be an inspiration to people and to be a good person that anyone can look up to. Like, I've heard people I look up to, like Cozy, for example, and that hurts a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. But that's beyond the point. The point is, there's so much animosity in the fandom these days. It feels like ever since the Kiro incident back in 2018, and mind you, I knew him prior to the doc coming out. I didn't know he did these things. I felt fucking awful when I found out. I blocked him everywhere. I had him on Telegram at the time. Uh, Needless to say, I imagine a lot of how I felt when I found out about Kiro stuff is how everyone else feels finding out about what I did. It's this sort of disappointment, feeling of betrayal that really leaves a mark that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Hasn't
And I would
Kuro
just say
also
though,
said?
like
Sorry.
the mark also could be like federal life in prison. Like it again. This is not like a moral issue. It's not only a moral issue. I should say it's a criminal issue. I mean, again, this is like one of the most legally speaking heinous crimes you can commit, second only to say murder.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't something that, like, let's say something happens. It's not just something that is a disappointment. It's a federal offense. It's really not at all something that should even be like made possible, if at all preventable. And I think in this situation it's very easily preventable. It's just like I just see no reason why it would in any way be like. I understand the point of, it's like you want to be able to control your urges, but your urges wouldn't matter if you weren't around children.
Yeah.
So you instead of having to work on all of this, which you still would have to do, you still have to work on them. It wouldn't be working against the tide. You could work at you wouldn't be working, and if you mess up working, it ruins your life, and it ruins a child's
Life as
mental.
well.
It could really affect and ruin a child's life. Yeah, and it's just very, very, very irresponsible to keep being around these people given your previous tendencies. And it does, and I'm not trying to insult you, I'm not trying to degrade you, but it's just you being around them is not. It's clear that there's some sort of motivation, and this is how it looks: is there's some sort of motivation you have to want to be around these children for whatever reason, and that's really what it looks like, at least from my point of view. And it's just really not a good look or a good idea for you.
That's fair. Um, I guess to an extent there kind of is a motivation. It's not anything malicious or anything like that. It's just more so self motivation to kind of, how do I put it? Uh, Not commit a fucking federal offense, preferably.
Or to permanently damage a child's psyche.
Yeah, that's the more important thing here overall. I'd rather not damage anyone, child or not, because damaging someone, in my view, it's like it, it leaves you with a scar too, but it's not as big as the scar they have. Like it leaves you with this feeling of overwhelming guilt and remorse. It's just it stings. I think worse than not the pain they feel, to be clear, but just any other kind of pain. Like you can say something mean to someone and they can forgive you in a couple days sometimes, but when you say something that's permanently damaging to someone's mental and even physical state at times, it's just it's not worth it. It's not worth hurting anyone. I don't want to go around just hurting people. Like I don't take any pleasure in that whatsoever. I find it deeply disappointing that I've hurt people in the past, and a lot of people. Like God,
Yeah, so you stated previously that it isn't a sexual attraction to these children, but then like what is it? Like is it a power thing? Like what is this? Like if it's not a sexual attraction to children, then what is it, you know? Like make it make sense cuz like it seems a bit odd that you would talk sexually to a minor, right? Multiple, and then have urges and have looked at cub art, which is basically child porn drawn, right? It's like lolly of the furry fandom. Like if it's not a sexual attraction, then can you help me understand what it is? Because like a lot of like the reason a lot of pedophiles molest children is not because they're sexually attracted to children. It's more of a fucking power thing.
And I would say is like, you seem very nice. It's not exactly like you can't find people that are over 18. It's not like, like a lot of situations, it's not defensible in any way, but that is like why. But in your situation, it's very clear that you seem to be quite a popular person. So I just what drew you specifically to have engaged in that way with specifically children when it seems that like there is no reason, like that seems like a almost an active choice to have
Yeah,
chosen that.
because like if you have no sexual attraction towards these children, then why not just do it with an adult, you know? It kind of seems from someone else's point of view, right? Outside looking in, that if you had the ability, because it's a fucking furry fan, you can ERP with anyone, right? Like you have the ability to ERP at the time, right, with someone over the age of 18, but you still chose to do it with someone under the age of 18.
yeah, and like ever since then, I haven't done ERP with a minor. I've only done ERPs like since then. Of course, I'm not going to deny it happened because that would be deeply wrong to just deflect and act like it didn't happen when it definitely did, and it was fucked beyond belief. I've only ERP'd with my closest friends who are actually older than me. Like my friend, for example, is roughly 50 years old.
Okay. So like at the time this happened, I'm sure you're friends with them at the time too. Why ERP with Game Boy and not this 50-year-old or whatever, you know? Like it
Yeah,
seems like a conscious choice that you made because you were attracted to this person and like what they are at the time. So is it a sexual attraction or is it not?
it's not a sexual attraction. The best way I can put it is any time that this exact thing has happened, it was either under the influence of alcohol, which doesn't excuse it either way. It still happened. Like I can't just be like, "Oh, this happened when I was drunk." Nope, that's not a full-on excuse or anything. It happened regardless. But
So
in the case of Game Boy,
yeah, go on.
um, in the case of Game Boy, it's just like I said before. I know I brought this point up already, and it's certainly not an excuse. Like I'm not willing to defend what I did to that extent because it's not defendable at all. Like there's nothing about it that's right or correct. It's deeply morally and ethically, also legally wrong. Um, basically, just to go back to the one point I made earlier, it was during a time where I was really lonely, desperate, and quite honestly not thinking straight at all. Like I was not my usual self or in my usual mindset at that time. Sure. it's still wrong no matter how we slice it, but it's just a tiny like fraction, I guess, of why it happened, or maybe it's the whole reason. I don't even know at this point. I'm still trying to understand it myself. I'm confused as hell. I'll be blunt. I don't know why I chose to do what I did. Beyond just
So
loneliness, desperation, and
I've heard that exact same thing said. Like personally, I was in the call with this person named Jupiter the Hybrid, right? Same fucking thing, right? They said, "Oh, I was lonely and drunk, and I was like, and I was going through a lot of shit at the time. This is why I did it, but I'm a changed person. I'm getting better. I'm receiving help." And then I log into their Facebook, which they gave me access to, and they were doing the same thing again with a 15-year-old. I mean,
mm,
like I've
And
heard
and I
this line
might say
before.
is you say it's not your normal self, but if it's not your normal self, then why do you have to go to therapy and recover for it? Like
it's
it's
just take. Sorry.
no, I'm just saying it's like I would imagine therapy would be some issue that is wrong with something that is a persistent issue. Like I wouldn't go to therapy if I was to, just for like a week I just felt in a different mindset. It'd be more of a I have been this way and I need to change this. It has been a permanent thing and I need to permanently change this. I don't Therapy isn't really for like temporary mindset issues.
I guess the main reason, looking back on it, as to why I signed up for therapy is just there's other shit beyond just the blatant pedophilia that I needed help for. I've also got severe anger issues, self-harming tendencies, anxiety, depression. The whole ordeal. And a lot of unhandled trauma from like childhood. Like I know this is a triggering topic for some, so just be warned. It involves sexual assault. I was SA'd at the age of 4, and that left a scar on me. And I imagine it's similar to the scar that the victims of my grooming probably have. And I feel fucking awful for that because the pain I went through from that, it still sticks with me to this day. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I guess thinking back on it, the whole reason why I went to therapy was just because I felt like, bluntly put, I felt like a monster. I felt like I was, and I mean, I probably am, but how do I put it? I behaved in a way that was inappropriate and far from the person I usually am. I'm usually just relaxed and not flirtatious like that. I rarely even flirt with my own partner. Like that says something, but that's not the point. The point is that whether it was my usual self or not, it doesn't change how wrong and disgusting it was. Like, there's a reason I've lost 99% of my friend group as a result of this, and it, it does hurt a lot. And I do hope eventually, maybe I can patch things up with them, but right now I'm more focused on just being a better person and avoiding any future situations, although I don't see it as particularly likely when I've got a lot of things to distract my mind and keep myself away from the urges. Like, music production's sort of a way for me to cope. Like, it's how I distract my mind whenever I feel the urge coming in. I sit down for hours just writing shit out, and it's also a way for me to vent sometimes. Like, if I hear that a friend of mine's going through some shit, I'll write a song specifically for them, and it's a cover of their favorite usually.
Yeah, but so going back to my point, right? I've
Mhm.
heard this line, right, and I've heard it on YouTube videos and with people who have called before, right? They're saying, "This is in the past. I'm a changed man. Like you gotta believe me. Like, just trust me, bro." But then they did it again, right? Like it doesn't matter if it was a day after, a year after, they still did it again because their minds slipped or that they just have this tendency. And and they also said they were drunk too, but the thing is, one of my good friends brought up a good point, is that when you're drunk, right, it doesn't really make you change how you act. It makes you feel more like at ease to act the way that you feel on the inside.
Hmm.
So and like what Jerry said, if this was just like a slip of the mind type thing. Why? Because you said in the doc that this is the main reason that you're going to therapy is because of how you hurt Game Boy and the others. So this isn't really just some slip of the mind thing. This is a tendency that you have repeated and that you do have.
Fair point. I
So
mean,
I find it extremely alarming that since you have repeated these actions multitude of times and you knew they were wrong at the time, back when the first victim, like, and then you said you relapse, like, a relapse can happen at any time. So it doesn't sit right with me that you, someone who has relapse and said they have relapse on grooming minors, would surround yourself with any minors for any reason at all. It's very alarming.
I understand. I know it's alarming, concerning, a lot of different things. And I'm not afraid to admit it was wrong. What I did, it was undeniably, like, without even the slightest bit of doubt, it was disgusting beyond belief. I'm disgusted myself for the way I acted. I'm still in disbelief that's happened this many times, but there's no way of disbelieving it when the evidence is right there. Uh,
I mean, the
just I
likelihood, since it happened this many times, is that it's going to happen again.
And one thing I'd point out is something that I've heard from a lot of people. I interviewed one person, and their response to me pointing out that they were a 30-year-old man being friends with a 16-year-old boy is "I am" and then his name, to suggest that because he is the individual that is himself, he falls completely out of the statistical and all reality probable likelihood of what his actions would show. So, you understand that you are an individual, that is true, but the individual, like for example, right, let's say you take a medication and one of the side effects is you have runny nose, right?
Mhm.
Your response that I don't get runny noses, so I'm probably not going to get one. Most people do, but I'm not going to. Is there's no basis to show that you would be any different from the likelihood scenario that you know something is very reasonably could happen in the future, and I understand that you are an individual and that you know you might be confident in your ability, but it's just from the outside in, there's nothing that would suggest that you specifically would be more able to, that this would not be a massive problem in your future. It really reasonably could be. And just is a yes, you are an individual, but you're an individual that does adhere to statistics. You know, you're you're just as probable to relapse for this as anyone else that has had the same issues.
Yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, it's highly probable. But then there's also the very slim chance that just doesn't happen at all. And I'm hoping it'll be on that side of things. I'd rather not be on the other end of the spectrum
Hope's
where
one
it's just
thing, but like reality is another, you know? So like
yeah.
you're not different than anyone else. I mean, neither am I, but like in your statistical range, you're not different than anyone else. What makes you think that you're going to be the exception?
I wouldn't say it's anything in particular. It's just this naive hope to just I don't know. I guess it's a naive hope to not be on the awful side of the spectrum, to not relapse again because I'm gonna be honest, as it is, I kind of live with a lot of regret from everything. I don't think I can handle doing that again,
I mean,
like
I
mentally.
I get that, right? But right now you feel that way, but it very well could, and statistically is very likely that that you will do these things again. And I find it extremely irresponsible that you have a server full of minors that you have direct access to. I mean, these people do look up to you. You're the server owner and you're a popular figure. I mean, like, and you say you also want to become someone, you want to become someone that people look up to, and that brings more minors in your purview. Like, this is just. you're setting yourself up for failure, and you're being a bit delusional that this is just not going to happen again. You should just cut all contact with minors, and it's very concerning that you're not. Because you and I both know that I'm right in this point of view, and me and Jerry are right. And to think that you're the exception to this very high likelihood, right? Pedophiles often reoffend. So why would you set yourself up for failure? Unless something in the back of your mind is keeping these minors keeping these minors surrounded to you.
I I don't even know where to begin with that.
Because there's not really anywhere to begin. You know I'm right. Like, fucking, it's just, this is not a good look, and you are gonna likely reoffend. So you should just not do this again. I find it very objective, morally wrong that you surround yourself with these minors because you have stated you have urges. And I also want to get back to a different point. If this isn't sexual,
Oh, fire's breaking up.
oh, sorry.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, my bad. If this isn't sexual, then what is it?
It's not really sexual. It's how the hell do I put it? I guess the more I think on it, it's not even it's not sexual. It's more like it's more like lackluster morals and self control.
But like,
To
And I'd
just
say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, you know? Paved with good intentions. I mean, no one would ever act in a toward inherently bad things, right? But you're sowing the seeds to your own failure, right? Is like, wouldn't it be great if you just couldn't reoffend? If that just wasn't something you always had to worry about? Like I think you personally, and just it would just objectively be a positive thing if you just didn't associate with minors, because not only would you not really have to be so on stress that oh, if something happens again, whatever, your life's going to be ruined. Is not only that, a lot of other people on the outside looking in would be a lot more comfortable and a lot more less worried, because it would be less probable and a lot less possible for you to reoffend if you just couldn't, if you just weren't around children.
that's a fair point.
I'm just
Perhaps it's
saying, I think it'd just be an objectively good thing if you just decided to not be around children as at all. I mean, there's no like, I don't see any real downside to it.
I mean, it's in the
Um,
benefit of you and the children that you could possibly and are likely to hurt, right? Because you like objectively speaking, you are setting yourself up for failure, and you know that.
I mean, I can't deny what you're saying. I mean, statistically speaking, you're right.
Then why do it?
Like I said before, it's just naive hope to just be able to do something right for a change pace.
And the right thing to do is to stop talking to children in general. That's the best thing you can do. That's the most right thing to do, is just to cut off all access from children.
and I just say, like, again, think about this from like an objective stance. Every single person in your situation says, "Well, I'm just not going to do it." That's what they all say. That's what, like, again, this isn't my first interview I've had. People have said the exact same thing you've said before, and there's previous people that have reoffended with the exact same mindset. I'm just pointing out a statistical thing that I've seen this exact same mindset, and it doesn't end well. The exact same mindset.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah,
the thing is you understand that we're right. Like you have acknowledged that it is a naive thing, and it's a very naive thing to be playing around when it's a federal offense. I mean, people ruin their lives. People take life in prison. People ruin children's lives over this exact same issue, and I don't see any valid reason why it would be worth the risk. And you've acknowledged it is a naive hope, but at the end of the day, you realize that the naive hope is being gambled against your life essentially,
And the lives of children.
and the lives of children.
Yeah, I'll be honest, you are completely right. Like, there's no denying it.
Then why
And
get
environment. Hmm?
then why keep associating with kids?
Well, I guess the main reason is just I don't see these people as targets or anything like that. I see them as friends or people I genuinely care about, and I don't want to hurt them like I've hurt anyone else.
Then I
I
think the best
mean,
thing to do is cut them out of your life because you are likely to hurt them.
And I would say I actually had again another conversation with someone that is being very heavily scrutinized by a lot of people now, and they again were friends with people that were there's an age range where even let's say there's nothing at all in any way, sexual going on. There's an age range where it is an objectively very, very risky thing for you to be friends with them, even if it's completely non-sexual friendship. Again, children are very easily um, manipulated, but also, they're very easily misled. So inherently, let's say you have an opinion, right? As an adult, your brain is formed, and how adults communicate is a very direct thing compared to children. Children are a lot less direct and a lot more passive in how they view the world. So inherently, being a mentally more developed human being, you can cause a lot of damage to a child just by being their friend, not even anything sexual. So, separate from the whole possibility of you reoffending, you being friends with these children could damage them and yourself, frankly, because in the future, it's not going to look good on you. And people are not going to be happy if something does happen. And it's just like, I would understand it if there was some justification, if there was some reason, if there was some advantage. But I've had this conversation with multiple people. Why be friends with kids? There's no advantage to it. No advantage to it. And it only ends in bad. It only ends badly. I've never seen someone that is friends with kids end well. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm looking into someone, right, and it turns out they're friends with people that are too young to be friends with them, that almost always, without fail, becomes a notable point in why they're in drama or why I'm in the first place looking into them. It's never just a side thing that's like, okay, they were friends with younger people. Like, being friends with people that young is a red flag in itself,
Yeah. And
separate from anything.
yeah. And the fact that you have done these things with children is an even bigger red flag. And it also just makes us a little concerned that you're still defending your, you know, friendships and relationships with these children when you have stated that it is not right. So like you should honestly just cut contact with all of them because yeah, you say you don't want to hurt them and I get that cutting contact with someone that hurts them, right? But grooming someone also hurts them even more. And you have these tendencies, you said you've had thoughts about this again. You should probably just cut these children off. And you didn't really answer my question. What are these thoughts that you have that you want to start getting away, right? If it's not a sexual thing, then what are these thoughts? If it's not sexual, if it's not an attraction, then do these thoughts even exist or is it an attraction?
these thoughts aren't tied to any sort of traction. I think I actually mentioned it earlier. It's just thoughts about past actions, and that it's constantly on my mind. I'll be honest, but not
Urges, urges.
not about.
You've said you've had urges to do these things again.
That's true.
If it is not a sexual urge to talk to a minor, when you also have like other people that are over the age of 18, then what is this urge that's causing you to talk to children?
I guess it's just I don't even know how to describe it. It's not anything wrong per se. I mean, I don't have any interest in hurting people again, and uh, I guess at the end of the day, it just boils down to just wanting to legitimately make people happy, like to not cause any damage for change pace. Just you know, be good to be around. You know.
I get
Yeah.
that, right? But like not wanting to make a child sad that you don't want to get in a relationship with them. Like not wanting to get a relationship with a child, yeah, will make them sad, right? But fucking grooming them is gonna make them traumatized and scarred for life.
And I would also say, how old are you, might I ask?
I'm 20.
Is it normal for 20-year-olds to be friends with 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds? Is that
Um,
normal?
I do have some friends who are in very similar boat. Not the pedophilia thing, but the being friends with people younger than them.
I get that, but it is like, at least in my experience, right? It's just like people live their lives very segmented within their age, right? You go to high school, you have high school friends. You go to college, you have college friends, but everyone's generally around your same age, right? And it's a very social taboo to be friends with people that are notably younger than you are. It's socially very taboo because of the inherent risks.
What's
And
the age of
generally,
your youngest friend? Like,
yeah, that is a good question.
My youngest friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
Let me think for a moment.
because you have children as young as 13 in your server.
I think my youngest friend is. Hang on. Where the hell is this handle? Um, Zodiac, I think it was. No, no. Okay, there we go. Yeah, my youngest friend is 15.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Like,
Sorry
like,
for taking a moment to like.
no, you're
Yeah,
good.
no,
But
you're fine.
like, you have a 15-year-old as your friend, right? Why?
Um, just because we have a lot of similar interests. Like,
I get
for
that,
example,
right?
we're,
I
you
get
know,
that. But the person me and Jerry interviewed also had a similar interest to this 30-year-old. That doesn't make it right to be friends with them. And especially with someone
it's
with your tendencies, why be friends with these people in the first place? It's extremely irresponsible. And anyone outside
And
looking in,
I would say, is within this the furry sphere. You make one mistake, anyone will forgive you. You make a mistake twice, you're gonna find it a lot harder to find people that are in any way okay with what has happened, and you're gonna find it one hell of a lot harder to find anyone that is okay with what you've done that is not okay with the acts that you've committed. Because again, once something happens, you can fix it. Twice it happens, or two separate situations, is no one's gonna believe you're recovering if you do have a relapse. So why even be around kids where you could relapse, man? It's just not a good idea. It never was, and you even acknowledge it's not a good idea. I mean,
and it's like,
there's
why are you still
it's just a
defending it?
risk. Like, why are you still doing it? Yeah. Is tomorrow you could wake up and leave this all behind you, just never talk to a kid again? Never, not even as friend, nothing. And then it would all be behind you. You'd never have to even be like
Worried.
be suspected. Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
And
There,
what do you think your therapist is gonna say if you tell them, hey, me, a pedophile, as you self-admitted, right? A pedophile, like, has a bunch of children added on Discord and has a server full of them, and my youngest friend is 6 or 15. Like, what do you think they're gonna think? What do you think they're gonna say? They're gonna say, fucking cut that off.
Exactly. And it's just the best thing for you and for everyone else. Because again, I mean, it's just from the outside in, it looks so bad. Like people, like it just looks so bad.
And
And
the
again,
fact that you're dying on this hill to keep talking to kids is also extremely concerning. Because, like, when we first brought up this point, you should have just said, you know what, you're right, I'm going to cut off contact with all kids. But the fact you haven't said that and have defended your relationships, friendship wise, with minors is a big red flag. Like, why do you keep defending the fact that you want to stay friends with these children? I know you want to make everyone happy, so do I, but like the correct thing to do for yourself and most importantly the children is just to not talk to them. And the fact that you're defending that is would make people think that maybe this person isn't recovering, maybe they're just waiting for an opportunity for it to come up again, or maybe like when they do slip up again that they're probably going to fucking do this again. I mean, like people can recover in anything all they want to, but the likelihood that it's going to happen again is extremely high, so why talk to kids in the first place? Why not just remove all the kids from your server? Unfriend all the kids you have on Discord. Is that going to happen? I doubt it, but you probably should do it.
you'd be a lot happier for it, and everyone would be. It'd just be an inherently good idea. And I would also say is again very rare. Like if I look at someone right, and they're casually friends with people that are like let's say again this example I had where there was a 30-year-old friends with 16-year-old. I heard that and I looked at it and I was very skeptical of it. And then I looked deeper and it was a very very objectionable like later down the road. Again, there was nothing wrong happening at the time when I heard about it. Stuff developed because of that. And now that person is very hated. Very hated. So I'm just saying I'm willing to put money on the table that if you keep being friends with these kids, your name is going to come up again. It's just going to. Something's going to happen. It's just inevitable. If you want to keep that risk on the table, that's your choice, but I'm just saying is I mean it very much looks like something is it just statistically something is probably going to happen. So, if I was you, I'd completely cut out any underage people, never talk to one again, and then do you, it's so improbable that nothing's gonna come of you being friends with all these kids. It's so improbable, but it's your choice. You're an adult. You can make that choice. I'd say that again. You might say that the children can also choose, but they're children. I mean, when I was 16, I saw nothing wrong with being friends with 40-year-old men. I mean, I wasn't, but I'm sure I would have been okay with that because, again, I was a child. I didn't think very clearly, and I didn't have any clear understanding of how that could damage me. It's your job as the adult to make that decision, and your choice to be their friend is your decision.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
You're good. So our point being, why keep talking to these children? You know you're likely to reoffend. You said it, and you're not the exception. Very high likelihood, like 90% chance that you're probably gonna reoffend. I feel like something in the back of your mind is telling you to keep these children around, and that's very dangerous, and we all know it is.
Fair point.
It's a fair point, but are you gonna do anything with the fair point? Or are you just gonna
I
get off this call and then reinstate this relationship with this 15-year-old and every other minor you're friends with.
It never ends well, man.
It
You're
doesn't.
going down a dark path. And I would very much question anyone that doesn't tell you that, if anyone that says anything else. I know how this works, and I've talked to a lot of people. They have a self-segregated group of people. It creates an echo chamber. Look at for example, Blue Wolf's a great example. She, in her community creation, led to only people that had very, very, very specific beliefs and views that she also held. So it led to her believing that what she did was okay and that it wasn't going to end badly. And because of that very small group of people that all had the same views, saying the same stuff, because mind, a lot of people, I'm going to be completely honest, if I was your friend and then all that came out, I would not be your friend. So I'm sure a lot of people flaked out, and those people that stayed with you, they probably don't have the strongest negative views on these that most people would. So I mean, again, I'd do a self-reflection, and just anything that you are consciously aware is a terrible decision, just don't do that. I mean, you're aware that it's such a bad decision, yet you keep doing it. And there's the only benefit is maybe some form of gratification or something like that. But I mean, man, it's not worth it. It's not.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
is ruining. You something is. It's just not at all worth it, man.
yeah, and like you have pedophilic tendencies. You even said you were a pedophile at some point, right? I mean, you still say you're a recovering pedophile, right? I mean, like like I don't think anyone, right, like who has like a normal set of views would be like, oh my god, a recovering pedophile around children. That's probably not a good idea, right? Like you hear people saying no contact pedophiles, like that they're still pedophiles and you shouldn't be around children. So can we expect you to at least cut off your friendships with these children or what?
Just be honest.
It'll be something I'm gonna have to think on, but
Why?
if it
Why would you think on this? You already know it's wrong.
I would say, yeah, is and I don't want to attack you here, but man, like you're aware that it's wrong. You know that socially everyone thinks it's wrong. You're personally aware that it's going to, it's a bad idea. Is Can you explain logically speaking a single reason for why someone that has had the situation that you've had, that has the tendencies you have, why it would be a good idea for you to be associating with children? Logically speaking, what good could come of it?
it could potentially get me to a point where, like, if I keep doing what I'm doing now and just fighting off these urges, I could get to a point where it just isn't gonna happen again. I've already promised a shitload of people that this isn't gonna happen again. I like to stick by my word, like 100%, regardless of how it happens. Just I don't want that to happen. You know what I mean?
Then why are
Like
you gambling it?
I'm just saying, man, it's like the urges will go away if you're not exposed to children. It's not that
Yeah,
you have to be exposed to children for them to go away.
yeah. I mean, like
I mean, I encourage you to do some
why
research.
gamble the why gamble this? I mean, answer like why gamble?
And I would say is that that is a point that is you're completely wrong. There's a misconception there that you assume you have to actually be exposed to children for you to improve. Do some research, man. You don't need to be exposing yourself to what you're addicted to lose the addiction. I mean, again, it's like
I mean,
if
I've
you're
read up.
addicted to having if you're addicting like I said, if you're addicted to having sex, you shouldn't just be on Pornhub all the time. You should cut that out, and then over time your addictions will go away because you're not at all engaging with the medium. But if you're engaging with the medium, I mean, is there is scientifically no benefit to you being there's no benefit to your recovery of you being around the stimulus that you're recovering from being addicted to. There's not. There's
Exactly.
no.
And to the contrary of that, right? Like fucking like the main way to recovery, and that everybody has said this, and I'm sure your therapist has even said this too, is to not surround your triggers, to not surround yourself with triggers. So why are you surrounding yourself with triggers?
I I really don't know.
Do you
I'm
think
I'm I'm
maybe it's
just
because on the back of your mind you're like thinking that you may reoffend and you want like maybe want to at the future, because that's what it kind of seems like. If you're not cutting out your triggers and you're keeping them with you, that means that somewhere in the back of your mind you want to reoffend, and
I
that's
I
just
don't want to.
then why surround yourself with these triggers if you don't want to reoffend? Something inside of you is preventing yourself from cutting it off.
again, it's an addiction, right? And you've said it yourself. You say you can quit it with, you saying that you can just choose to not reoffend is like someone that's a cigarette smoker saying they can quit whenever they want. Is
And then they surround
That's a
themselves with packs of
statement.
cigarettes too. I mean, like,
Exactly. It is you, I'm sure you genuinely believe that you can keep it clean, but at the end of the day, is your brain is lying to you. If you know the statistics, statistically it's probable that you're going to reoffend. Your brain is lying to you and trying to mislead you into believing a false sense of confidence. And I genuinely believe that you surrounding yourself with these children it's just a risk. It's not going to end well. I've never once seen it end well, and I've been doing this for a little bit. So I'm just telling you, like, again, like I said, if you're gonna keep associating yourself and surrounding yourself with kids, I'm going to hear about you again. I've not once had a situation like this where they kept going on as they were, and I didn't one day hear, oh, this happened to this person, and it's always tragic. And I hate to see it. I don't want to see it. You're causing yourself a problem that you don't need for no reason other than you are, frankly, suffering from a problem that you're trying to cure, but you're not realizing that in keeping with these kids, that's making your problem worse.
and you know it's making it worse. And then and you've known this before we had the call too. You know, you're not fooling yourself or us. You know, like, and you've even stated you're a manipulative person in your doc. I mean, you're probably manipulating us and yourself too, unknowingly or knowingly. So like, and you, like I said, you've known what we were saying is true even before this call has happened. Yet you still continue to talk to children. Like what can convince us that, you know, of the contrary, that you're not just keeping these kids around for like some back of your mind reason that you might want to reoffend? I mean, like, you know what I mean?
Look,
I
man, at the end of the day,
Oh, let him speak.
it's your life, but I'm just saying, man, is
No, no,
I
let him speak,
really
Jerry. Let him
just
speak because they're gonna say
oh
something.
yeah.
What makes like what makes us think that you're not keeping these children around for like just some back of your mind urge to do this again? Because you knew this before this, you knew this before the call, and we're bringing this to your attention now. Why talk to these children? You know that maybe part of your okay, answer my question. Yeah, like, why are you keeping these children around if you know we're right and you've known before this call? Unless it's not for an urge to like reoffend.
it it's not for an urge at all. It's just I'm trying my best to. How do I put it?
I think you're
I'm
bullshitting
trying
yourself,
my
hun.
I'm trying my best to just take take control of myself to just stop shit from happening.
Then
Uh,
if you're
like
doing that, why start talking to children? If you want this to end, don't surround yourself with children, for fuck's sake.
And you know that's just the way that you would heal if you actually wanted to heal. That would be the way to go. And I would say is again, we're going with the assumption that you're not trying to manipulate us into believing you. But at the end of the day, is assuming you're saying the truth, you are manipulating and lying to yourself. Assuming you're not saying the truth, you're just lying to us right now for whatever reason. And I'm just telling you that, like, you've literally agreed that it would be better if you didn't talk to kids. But now you're saying that you feel that it would help you recover. The objective truth is that it would be better for you to not be around kids. That's what the truth is. And you've acknowledged that. Again, if you care about your recovery, you wouldn't be talking to kids. That's what it really looks like, and that's how I really feel about it.
It's understandable.
It is understandable. So like then why when I asked you to stop talking to children, you have to think about it. I mean like why? Why would you have to think about that if you know we're right? You said we're right. Why would you have to think about that?
This part of me feels like I'm capable of not reoffending. Like maybe I'm bullshitting myself. Maybe I am, but at the same time,
Think about it, because you really are, man. Just in the future, just think about it, because I mean, you know the statistics, you know all that. You know logically it makes sense. You're just bullshitting yourself. Um, with that, I do actually have to go
All
relatively
right.
soon, but
I'm gonna stay and
I'd
keep talking to you
like
for a little bit
I'd
more.
like to hear your response to that, because you know logically it's a bad idea, and you know emotion. Well, let's go by your feelings. You feel like it will help you. You feel like it's a good thing. You had the feelings that it would be a good thing to do these things with the children. Your feelings are what got you in this situation. So if I was you, just go with what your brain's telling you, and that is, this is a dumb idea. It feels like it's the right thing to do is to keep being friends with them, but logically, I know. Go with your brain. Stop talking to them. Because your emotions are what got you into this. And I think the best way is logically.
it's true. That it is my emotions that got me into this mess in the first place. My poor self control at the time. I just a lot of different things.
And don't you also realize it would be poor, like it requires a lot of self-control to get away from these people, because I've been in a similar situation. It's very hard to say no, I'm not going to be friends with this person because it's a bad thing, or they, whatever reason. It's very hard to end friendships. Um but it your lack of self-control would lead you to keep being friends with them. So you're playing into your issue. And that's really what it looks like to me. And I think the thing is you agree with me. I really do. And I think you understand that, like, it's just what I'm saying is true. But, and I think this is just it, is your lack of self control is very probably going to lead you to not taking the action that you know is right.
Mm.
Uh,
Um, so yeah, I mean, can we expect you to not talk to children after this, or are you? And just be honest. I mean, I'm gonna find out anyways.
Yeah. I, I don't even know. I'm people, and I have no idea.
And that's the problem, right? That's the main problem is you don't know, and you're debating on whether you want to talk to children. So that brings me back to my old point: is that something in the back of your mind is causing you to keep these children here. And I don't believe you that when you say that it's just to help me not reoffend, because you know that's not, you know that's bullshit. So why are you keeping the children around? Why don't you know?
I really wish I could say. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
I'd say that it's an emotional thing. Humans want to be around other humans. Humans are social creatures. Logically, that is a bad decision. Emotionally, which is what stems all self control issues, your emotions tell you one thing. Emotionally, you want to be around more people. You want to be around people